looking at a billboard outside and it says Como's Tequila. Has anyone ever tried that? Is it good? Anyway, welcome to my channel. Hi everyone, hello, welcome to my channel. If you don't know by now, my name is Exis and this is my channel Exis Does. And you might be asking, Exis, what do you do? What are you doing if your name is Exis and then Does at the end? And still don't know, really. I kind of like the idea of doing commentary, so I'm gonna do that more. In the meantime, while we're here, we're gonna talk about some things, and the things that we're gonna talk about today has to do, unfortunately, with the city I have currently resided in for the past decade or so, Atlanta, Georgia. What the is going on? What are you guys on right now? Can y'all please get it together? Please get it all the way together, because we can't be out here like this. A TikTok content creator by the name of Kieth Lee, known for reviewing a lot of restaurants, specifically restaurants that are Black owned. He has found himself in Atlanta, Georgia, and he reviewed a couple of restaurants, and he did not have the nicest things to say. And when I say the nicest things to say, I don't mean that he said the food was horrible. I don't mean that he said the quality of food was terrible, the atmosphere, the aesthetic was bad. He just said the customer service wasn't all the way there. And when I mean all the way there, I mean that the customer service was horrendous. So apparently, Kieth Lee's family wanted to get food at Milk and Honey. They went to go try and get food. They were turned down because they were doing deep cleaning, yet there were people coming in and out of the restaurant to get food regardless. When Kieth Lee finally walked in himself, they let him order food or sit down or whatever. Same occurrence happened when he went to Old Lady Gang. His family wanted to sit down and eat or take out some food. They told them that they don't do takeout on the weekends and that it would be over an hour-long wait. But then as soon as Kieth Lee went in, all of a sudden the doors were wide open. Lee could go in, eat as much as he wanted, order as much as he wanted. Basically, he got special treatment, and he went to social media to talk about this. A lot of people had things to say. A lot of people had their commentary or their pieces of information to add in about the situation and what specifically was going on. More or less, I'm noticing that a lot of natives of Atlanta have kind of come to this executive conclusion that we are in fact tired. We are tired of the way y'all will sit up here and not provide customer service, but then expect us to go and support your small Black owned business, your Black owned restaurant, your Black owned establishment, but then treat us like we aren't anything because we don't have enough followers, we don't have enough clout, or maybe we don't have enough money to your standards. Yeah, very unfortunate situation. I would say it's not just the restaurant scene in Atlanta either, unfortunately. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because the hairdressers here, yeah, remember that one video I made about what it's time to stop on, and how I was talking about the luxury hairdressers? Well, guess where they are frequent? Guess where they stay? Guess where they fester? Atlanta. I myself have horror stories of dealing with hairdressers who have been in this city, who have been scamming people, overpriced for services, who will sit up here and cancel on the last minute, who won't even get in contact with you if you DM them on Instagram. I think collectively as a unit, folks that live in Atlanta, folks that live on the outskirts of Atlanta, even the people that are visiting, even the people that don't even live here and are seeing what's going on, we're all collectively, we're all just a little tired. I can't say that I am all that shocked or surprised that things are happening and panning out the way they do, because Atlanta, from what I heard, again, I don't really go outside that much. For example, when I go out to eat, it's further outside of the city. I don't really eat in the city as much as I used to anymore. From what I understand, Atlanta very much so is for show and aesthetics and flexing. And that's because you have an influx of influencers that are coming here to make a name for themselves. I think this is a bigger commentary on influence and culture and how something in my eye. Look how long my eyelashes are. Look how long they are. See those bad boys? this is a bigger commentary on influencer culture, social media culture, and flex culture. Really just out here paying for the aesthetic of these restaurants and the vibes of these restaurants and who goes to these restaurants, and not so much the quality. Hence the reason why some people might not be able to come in at certain times. Regular everyday people might not be able to get services from these restaurants. You know, a good chunk of these restaurants probably don't treat their customers right. The food isn't good enough for y'all to be acting the way you do to these customers. Something I can say, I do notice that when I am out of state and I'm eating at other places, whether it be like middle America or like, you know, up in the Northeast where I'm from, what I do tend to notice is that a lot of the food just tastes a little better. And I think the reason behind that is, again, they're not trying to create a restaurant or eatery for aesthetics, to garner influencers that will influence people to go to these restaurants. A lot of these establishments that are open in places outside of a lot of lucrative cities, they have to rely on their food being good in order to stay in business. It's not so much about the looks. They have to rely on their customer service in order to have business. Otherwise, they'll get bad word or bad feedback, and people won't go to their restaurants anymore. I do think that is pretty unfortunate that like cities and the culture of cities, especially cities that have a big influencer scene, social media vibe, so like LA, Miami, Atlanta, they will very much so put on to just put on. They are willing to give influencers or people with a certain amount of followers certain type of treatment over the regular everyday individual. The hairdressers here in Atlanta, I don't know, but in parallel to Kieth Lee going to Old Lady Gang and Milk and Honey here, a young woman, I'll put her TikTok down below, who was trying to get a quick weave before she would go and pick up her son by one of the best quick weave ologists in Atlanta. She had texted prior to going to get her hair done that she came at this time, she'd be guaranteed to get out at a certain time so she can go and pick up her son from school. So the hairstylist was like, oh yeah, of course I can get you done. It's a quick weave, it doesn't take too long. But lo and behold, it did take a very long time, because when she did come in, there were like 3 or 4 heads before her. Apparently she had to go in one of the back rooms while the hairdresser worked on the other heads. And when she finally came out after quite some time and was like, hey, I need to pick up my son, when are you gonna finish me? Like, her hair was just like half done, like leave out glue on her head, right? The hairdresser just sat up there and told her flat out, I'm not gonna be able to get you done in time, sweetheart, I'm sorry. And she's like, nah, but you said on Instagram that you would be able to get me done. She's like, I'm sorry, but I don't think I'll be able to get you done. Like, there's no way, I don't think I said that. And she was like, no sis, I think you did. Again, like a net over her hair glue already on, and a little bit of leave out. And I'll put a picture here to kind of paint the image.
She looks at me and she's like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do your hair by 2 o'clock. I'm standing here in the doorway looking like this, thinking, really? How am I gonna get this off my head? I mean, I could go home and wash it, blah, 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 but I'm like, what in the hell? She did offer after I was like, can you take it off for me? Because at first she was just like, oh, it comes off with water. That was her first response. I was like, bitch, I'm not about to walk outside looking like this. And then I was like, you know what? I am going to walk outside and look like this so I can film this video. Because I want y'all to see that I'm not lying. And I did nothing wrong this time, y'all. Nothing wrong at all. I was on time. She wasn't on time. And now my hair looks like this. This is what I get for not going just to 5-star weaves. This is what I get. Listen, never again. I have officially 100%, okay, take my ass to the moon and back, learned my lesson.
The way the professionalism has declined significantly in this city is shocking, because I can almost guarantee you that if we were in any other state that didn't have as big of a hub or wasn't even like known as the city for influence, that crap would not fly. I understand that the Atlanta of 2010s probably isn't the Atlanta of the 2020s anymore. I know there's a lot of things here that are different. More and more people are seeing entertainment opportunities for growth, opportunities to grow their brand brand as an influencer that we have a lot of people out here who are just unfairly treating regular everyday folks that want to support a lot of businesses here. I don't know what's gonna happen with the future of Atlanta because of this. I don't know what's gonna happen with these Atlanta hairdressers, these luxury hairdressers, these IG model hairdressers in the future. Keep doing what you do until we all collectively decide, every Black woman collectively decides that we're gonna say screw it, go on YouTube, learn how to install our own wigs, do our own sew-ins, braid our own hair, and then y'all are gonna be out here looking dumb and foolish trying to charge people some $500, $600 for a service. Do not play with it, okay? Like, I know times are hard, I know times are trying, but at this point, it's highway robbery, okay? With the Atlanta restaurants, however, I do feel like y'all really do need to just do better. It's a shame that someone like a Kieth Lee, who's like very down to earth, really is just trying to honestly figure out if these restaurants are worth all of our time, kind of exposed y'all, and y'all showed them the darkest part of your butthole in real time. Milk and Honey's response to the whole situation was very petty. The way the owner made a very dense TikTok, basically doing a whole Mariah Carey. They didn't know Kieth Lee. They didn't know her, right?
Did you see this Kieth Lee video about the real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Kieth Lee?
You don't know Kieth Lee? Yeah.
No.
Even the manager of the restaurant calling Kieth Lee autistic and just getting really bitter and really nasty on the internet. People sending Kieth Lee death threats because, you know, he wasn't supporting a Black business in the way he should. And I think we need to be honest with ourselves collectively as Black folks. Like, I'm gonna just be real, okay? I'm gonna keep it 100. Just because it's Black owned, okay, doesn't mean it's absolved of criticism. Seeing this pattern happen, that because it's Black owned, because we see a successful Black business owner doing their thing, because they're making it, because they are successful, you know, we're gonna take it easy on them. We're not gonna be too critical on them, because if we're not gonna be critical with them and then they go out and are competing with their non-Black competitors, their professionalism is just not gonna be there, okay? Especially if you're trying to enter an industry where you have money, right? Like Kandi Burruss, okay, this isn't her first and it won't be her last restaurant that she's opened up in the greater Atlanta area. She has done this several times before, and it hasn't been like a surprise that a lot of people haven't had great things to say about her restaurant, okay? At some point, you kind of have to put like 2 and 2 together, and you have to understand that like maybe getting into these industries is a lot less than like a grass wall with a neon sign in the background. It takes more for a restaurant to be successful outside of aesthetics and looks. I think that we as a unit probably need to reevaluate where we give our services to. Unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Atlanta, I'm gonna need y'all to do a little bit better. I'm gonna need y'all to get it all the way together and do better, okay? I'm gonna also need, like, this is something I noticed about wealthy people, right? If you don't know the ins and outs of a business and how to run it, then maybe you shouldn't partake in the actual, like, business. Like, from what I understand, owning a restaurant isn't as easy as y'all carry it on to be. You find it very aesthetic that Kandi Burruss is over here like opening up every other restaurant every 5 years in Atlanta. Now I just recently heard that Kendrick Lamar had a restaurant, although I hear it's really, really good and I would love to go. Apparently Kevin Hart has a restaurant, Lil Baby has a restaurant. I'm gonna just say this, just because y'all have money doesn't mean you can dibble and dabble into every little thing and think that y'all are gonna be good at it. If anything, I feel like if you want to expand your brand or expand on the type of services that you want to offer, just make sure it's making sense. Kevin Hart opening up a vegan fast food restaurant, which I hear is actually really good, probably doesn't make as much sense as maybe opening up a comedy club for like up and coming comedians to come and perform. Every little business move you should make, I feel like should be calculated. Like, this is a part of my brand. This is who I am as a person. If you're gonna make money, and if you want to make money, everything you do makes sense to like who you are and what passion you have, right? That's all I really have to say about the Kieth Lee situation. Let me know what y'all think about the situation with Atlanta and Atlanta restaurants and, you know, just the service in Atlanta in general. Any folks from the city, have they noticed this energy going around? Let me know how you guys feel about Kieth Lee calling out Atlanta and saying that they aren't really too keen on decent restaurant customer service. So yeah, that's it. I hope you like this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. All the support matters. Do not forget to drink some water, y'all. Bye.